Welcome to the latest installment of Chord by Chord, a new series designed to build your understanding of harmony and your familiarity with the fretboard. Today, I'm going to show you how to connect two chords, the major 1 and the minor 2, in two different keys, C major and G major. Now, don't worry if that just sounds like a Leonard Cohen lyric to you. The Roman numerals are just referring to the order of the notes in any given scale. So in C major, the 1 would be the first note of the scale, C, meaning the major 1 is C major, and the second note of the scale is D, making the minor 2 D minor. The most basic way to play a 1-2 progression in C major is by using open chords. Now, for both voicings, the lowest note of the chord is the root, but it's important to note which string the root is on, because we're not using all 6 strings for either of these voicings. So for the C major chord, the root is on the 5th string at the 3rd fret, and for the D minor chord, the root is on the 4th string. It's the open D 4th string. So for the C major chord, you want to make sure that you're striking the 5th string first, leaving out the low E string. And for the D minor chord, you want to make sure that you're striking the 4th string first, leaving out the 5th and 6th strings. Then in example 2, you have your bar chords. Now, the recommended fingering for the A major shape bar chord is to stack your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers on top of each other. For me though, I kind of prefer to mash the end joint of my ring finger across those 3 strings to bar it. Do whatever is easiest for you. These rather full voicings are ones from which you can derive a couple others, including using just the middle 4 strings, which gives you a nice mid-range kind of power chordy feel. Or, as shown in example 2a, you can just use the top 3 strings. Then, example 3, you have 2 bar chords in 8th and 10th position. It can be a little harder to bar all 6 strings at that place in the fretboard because the action is the highest. I usually can't do it without some buzzing, especially when you're playing more freely. Moving on to G major, and referring back to that scale degree method, the first note of a G major scale is G, making the major 1 G major, and the second note of a G major scale is A, making the minor 2 A minor. The easiest way to play the 1-2 progression in G major is by using open chords, as shown in example 4. Make note to pick the string that has the root on it first. So for the G open chord, the G open chord actually includes all 6 strings because you have the root on the low E at the 3rd fret. And then for A minor, the root is actually the open A string, so you're going to pick from the open A string, leaving out the low E. Then you have your bar chords in example 5, which in the reverse gives you a bit of Led Zeppelin. You can also derive other voicings from those bar chords, like in example 5A, which is played on just the top 3 strings. Now, example 6 gives us a couple of bar chords at the 10th fret and the 12th fret. This is rather difficult to play on a 12th fret guitar, or kind of impossible. And on a 14th fret guitar, which is what I have, it's still pretty difficult, which is why we offer an alternative in example 7. One example that makes use of the 1-2 progression in C major is Lucinda Williams' Am I Too Blue? Am I too blue for you? Am I too blue? When I cry like the sky some night till I'm too blue? Is the night too blind? Is the wind too rough? Is it at your back? Have you had enough? So, if you've kept up with these videos, at this point you should know several different voicings for C, G, and D chords, connecting 1 to 5 in the key of C and the key of G, A minor, E minor, and D minor chords, and now connecting 1 to 2 in the keys of C and G. Next time, I'll show you how to connect the 1 and 6 chords in the keys of C and G major.